Hey there, what is going on? Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. My name is Jazz. Today I got a Saryn build for you guys. A condition overload Saryn build to be specific. Saryn is really great for this kind of build because she's got a lot of different statuses she can apply just with her abilities. So we're going to show you how to get the most mileage out of condition overload as possible. In one version of this build, I crammed 13 potential statuses, so that's a lot of extra damage from condition overload. I'll start by going over the build. It's a comprehensive build, so Warframe, weapons, companions, all that stuff. Here's the Saryn build. First thing, I went ahead and subsumed Zata's Whisper from Zaku. Void just gives us another status we can inflict. This works on guns, this works on melee, and it counts towards condition overload. So it's a really good ability, a really good damage increasing ability to have in general, and perfect for this build because it gives us more statuses. Okay, as you can see, I've got a Umbral Forma on Saryn. You don't have to have this. I like it for the extra tankiness it gives her. She's got enough armor where giving her Umbral Fiber and Umbral Guardian and Arcane Guardian are worth it. I'm running Hunter Adrenaline on this build because I don't have Energize or Zeneric or anything like that, and I want to be able to keep up her 2 and her 3, her 2 being the Whisper, at all times, and then be able to recast her Spores whenever I need to, and Miasma when I really want to crank it up to 11. So that's what I use for her. I'm not using absolute maximum range. I find I don't need it. At this rate, I'm spreading spores in a 40-meter radius, which is bigger than most rooms and most maps you will play ever. All right. As far as a condition overload primer, I'm not using a Kuva Nucor, as is the style these days. I'm using a Kuva Comb. And the reason for that is that a Kuva Comb will give me IPS in addition to the elementals. And one thing to remember about condition overload is that on your melee, the extra damage bonuses do not apply to the hit that applies the statuses. So if I hit an enemy and I apply 4 statuses with that one hit, I do not get the ×4 status bonus multiplier from condition overload. I only get it on subsequent hits where the enemy already has those statuses applied. So what I'm doing is shooting them with the Kuva Comb first, applying as many as 6 statuses, and then swinging away with my melee. Okay. The rivet I'm using is purely utility. Fire rate, status chance. In fact, I don't really have any damage mods on here at all. I guess you could call fire rate and multi-shot damage mods, but they're all there to make sure I get as many statuses as quick as possible. This is a magnetic Kuva Comb, and with the magnetic element, I'm able to put on 2 more elements in my mod slots and then have the IPS for a total of 6. So between the Kuva Comb and Saryn's kit, there's 10 elements right there. So that's pretty good. For my melee, I'm using a Kuva Shield Egg. Oh yeah, I'm not using a secondary for this build. I don't want to be constantly switching back and forth between primary and secondary. It's probably an overall loss in DPS if I did that. So I just have a pistol on so I can use this cool pistol skin. All right. So yeah, I'm going with the Kuva Shield Egg. I like the way hammers feel right now. It gives me a lot of range. I can pretty much one-shot anything. I got a pretty nice rivet for this one too. You definitely don't need one. If you didn't have one here, you could put a like a heat mod on here and have even one more status, because one thing this particular build is lacking is heat, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But anyways, I'm going pure viral on this one. This is a toxic Kuva Comb, so yeah, when I throw the frost on, it gives me viral. Let me see anything else I want to say about this one. Yeah, some other weapons I've used on this build in the past. Zaws work really good. I've used a Dockram Zaw before, and I've used a Plaker Path Zaw. I like a lot of range on builds like this, so pole arms and heavy blades and hammers are good for me. But for now, I'm using the shield egg. Okay, as far as my companion goes, I like the Worm Prime. I really like it for the negate functionality it gives me because I'm not running Prime Sure-Footed. I have Cunning Drift on my Saryn right now for the extra range for spores and miasma and all that. So being able to just stand up to any kind of knockdown status once every 5 seconds is super nice. Let me see right here. I would use Shield Charger like that. And yeah, you want to be able to have your sentinels attacking enemies as far away as possible at all times so they can be applying more status. I went with the Hellstrom. This weapon is great for status. It's got the second highest status of all sentinel weapons, I believe, second to the Cryatra. Cryatra is really good too. I was using this one for a while as well, but it's only single target. Something like that. I ended up going with the Hellstrom though, again, because it's got really good AoE, so it'll apply all kinds of status to enemies in a big area. So that's the build. I've got 13 statuses. Yeah, again, the only one I'm missing on this particular format is heat. Some people would argue that is a weakness because you want the heat to be stripping enemy armor. I was just trying to cram as many statuses as I could on here. 13 was the most I could get up to. I also have a 12 stat version of this that does have heat. So what happens is I end up running viral and heat on my Hellstrom. And then I put corrosive on the melee. And this particular loadout ends up working better for Grineer, heavily armored enemies, because having this corrosive damage on your weapon just eats through their armor. It destroys them. Okay, I am running Naramon. This build can do crazy damage even when you're not at combo multiplier. You have 0 combo multiplier, so once you ramp up to 12, you're doing some pretty insane things. All right, so let's go ahead and show this off against some level 150 Exogoxdads. Go ahead and cast my 2 and my 3 for the Void and extra toxin damage. Put spores on them. See the Hellstrom going off there. Yeah. So those are like some of the most heavily armored enemies in the whole game. We're just 1 and 2 shotting them, starting at 0 combo. So that's not bad, I would say. I'll go ahead and show off the 13 stat version of this. Put viral back on the melee and cold and radiation back on my Hellstrom. It's still going to be very good. We're going to be, maybe 2 and 3 shotting the enemies as opposed to 1 and 2 shotting them. Still very insanely good. Okay. So that's what that does. If I was going against Grineer, I'd be using the 12 stat version, and anything else, I'd probably be using the 13 stat version. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put up some Steel Path gameplay. I think this is going to be on Selkie. I'm using the 12 stat version just for absolute maximum damage. So as you'll see, the tanking's pretty good. The damage is absolutely nuts. I'm able to keep my buffs up 100% of the time. I mean, you gotta. I don't find I really need to use miasma that much. I will when I, have a ton of energy or it just crosses my mind. I want to absolutely obliterate all these guys, but not 100% necessary. So, sort of a little meme build, I guess, but it's just stupid powerful nonetheless. I get it, slash and viral is the thing, and that's more than enough to kill anything in the game these days. But yeah, just been kind of playing around with some other stuff, and this is really effective, and I like trying to figure out, how to get as many combinations of, how to get the combination of as many different elements on the build as I possibly can. And yeah, give this one a try. Let me know what you think about it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.